Hello everyone, welcome to Test Padel. Today we are in Surge Padel in Bristol. It's a very nice club in Fish Ponds. Come pay a visit if you are around. And today I invite you to my new review of a racket from Bullpadel, this year's Vertex 04 Comfort. This racket is a diamond shaped racket, oversized racket, like its predecessor, and is weighted around 360 grams. This model, this one particularly, came at 366 grams. So with an overgrip, if you add it on, it comes to 372 grams. The balance of the racket is a medium-high balance, so it's approximately here. Comes to 26.8 centimeters on this model. The build quality of this one is a little bit better in terms of cosmetics to the previous model, which you remember was silver and brown. This one is a combination of black, silver, and red, with a couple of decals that are very shiny and kind of hologram-like. So for the looks, I would score it at 9 points out of 10. But unfortunately, it seems to have the same issues as the previous version. And I'm going to try to show you this on close-ups. So the finish on the racket, it's a little bit delicate, and my concern is that it might start chipping off, as it was the case on the previous model. When it comes to control, I would score this racket 7 out of 10 points because it's a soft racket. The core of the racket is a soft multi-eva, which is I never know if it's the synonym for multi-layer or multi-purpose, but this racket is advertised as a sandwich type of foam racket. So the top layer of the rubber is a different density rubber than the core, than the one that is deeper, the core. But looking at the close-ups, that top layer is very thin. It's about 1 millimeter or maybe even less. A little bit different to the promoting materials that you could see from Bullpadel, that it's quite a thick one and significant layer. So I found that it's quite thin, and I don't know if that makes actual difference. What makes the difference is the face material that this racket is made of, and it's Fibrix. So it's Bullpadel's name for a mix of carbon and fiberglass. So you have similar to the Babolat's Veron line, you have the mix of layers, fiberglass and carbon, and that also brings the softness and changes the reactiveness, the touch of it. Because of that, the control on this racket seems to be decreasing while you're increasing speed of your rallies. And also comes in significance when you try to exercise power from this racket using flat smash. So because of its reactiveness and elasticity of the materials that are being used here, you tend to lose control at the point where the rally becomes very quick and it's harder to control the pace of the ball. It seems that the ball is launched in volleys especially. So I wouldn't give it a 9 or 9 out of 10 like they are advertising. I would give it a 7. Well, I mentioned the smash and the power of the racket. So if you're a flat smasher, I think you will be a little bit disappointed with this racket. Don't get me wrong, it's a very comfortable racket because of its softness. But for the power, I scored it 7 out of 10 for a flat smash, but 8.5 for the Kicksmash. Why? Again, we're coming back to this composition of materials. The ball sinks a lot and dwells in the face of the racket. So when you do a flat smash, you tend to lose the power because the energy of the ball is getting absorbed by the racket. But then again, it helps you in the Kicksmash because you have longer contact points with the face of the racket, and you can get more effect, more spin on the ball if you are doing the kick smash. The sandy surface, as in previous model, this one also has the sandy silicone surface sprayed on, helps to achieve that as well. With Bandeja, this is, I think, the best shot you can exercise with this racket. Bandeja is very comfortable. It doesn't require you to put strength from the back of the court from deeper angles to push the ball over. It's a defensive shot, I know, but it's you don't have to worry about adding too much to get the ball where you want it to go. The racket helps you with that, with the balance directed a little bit to the top, and the reactivity of the racket itself. Vibora, I mentioned, it helps you with the spin, but again, it's a faster pace shot that is a lot harder to control with this type of materials. And while you get decent spin on it, and on a slower Vibora, you will be able to put it more or less where you want it. On a very dynamic hit, where you put a lot of your force, you might lose the control if you miss hit slightly, and the ball will just fly, end up in the glass. So you have to be careful with that. It probably will require adaptation. Mentioned volleys, yeah. So 7 out of 10 for the volleys because of exactly the same reason, the reactivity and launching of the ball. But what is the positive for this racket is, for example, if you tend to be a defensive player and you tend to hit more balls from the back of the court, or you're playing on the right hand side, like Martin DiNenno, who is signing this racket. This is his signature racket. It's gonna help you to get the ball over the net. So if that's your style of a game and you just need an extra power, that could be something to look at. Maneuverability of the racket. This racket has the 26.8 balance, but you don't really feel it that much. It's not that different from the previous model. It was also somewhere in the realm of 26.5. So even though that it's a diamond racket, the balance for a diamond racket is quite low. As you can see, the shape, oversized shape of this face widens it in the midsection, so puts more material in the midsection, so that affects the balance, and it's easier to manage this type of rackets. Diamond rackets tend to be very difficult to control and maneuver, but this one is not the case. So looking at how you can use this racket and how versatile it would be, I would score it approximately 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 for the attack, because of the reasons mentioned, the losing control on the faster pace, and not being as aggressive on the smash. Volleys tend to be a little bit unforgiving, but so that's 7.5 for attack. But on the other hand, on the defense, I would score this racket 8 or even 8.5 because of the increased maneuverability. Here, the composition of the racket helps you to get the ball over, to defend better, to block the ball, because the energy of the ball is absorbed in the racket. Yeah. So on overall, it's around 8 out of 10 for the versatility of the racket. And overall, I would score this racket for about the same, for 8 out of 10 overall value of the racket as it is. When it comes to the cost of the racket and value for money, what you're getting, I would score it as 7, because this racket retails about £200 still, and I think that looking at the composition and what this racket can do and what you would expect it to do, there are more competitive positions on the market. There are other manufacturers whose offer comes way under the price of this one. But you need to remember that the cosmetics, the signature of Martin DiNenno, that also costs some money. If you are a Bullpadel fan and you like this type of rackets, definitely you should go for it. If you're just looking for a racket that would be comfortable, maybe look a bit further for something that's gonna give you a little bit better value for money. We talked about the build quality, yeah. So I'm going to show you in the close-up what I mean by the fragileness of the paint finish. But that was the only thing that I found that would be a negative. The cosmetics of the rackets, I think they improved from the previous version. The racket came on spec, so it wasn't too light, it wasn't too heavy. So it's all described. It's all sold as described. Yeah. So that's that. It's a very good racket for defense. It's a very good racket to learn to play with a diamond racket. Yeah. So for an intermediate that has a basic racket, which they are usually round, made from very soft materials, a step up would be this one, and it would be good thing to good racket to consider. Yeah, for you to try something more advanced, but something that won't rip your arm off in terms of hardness and forgiveness. It's a good racket for ex-tennis players because of the balance being a little bit higher, and that gives you a little bit more swing weight, and it feels just similar, a little bit more similar to and familiar to a tennis racket. It's also a very good racket for people who are prone to injury, or maybe older players that still seek some power in their game. It's a very comfortable racket, and I had sessions for a couple of hours that I was playing with this stick, and it didn't cause me any sort of tension or symptoms of tennis elbow. It's also a very good racket for colder months, for winter. So if, as you are aware, as the temperature drops, the rubber in your racket gets harder and less reactive. So if you have a very hard racket that you play in the summer and you feel that it's okay, in the winter it's going to punish you. So it's something to consider, maybe to have this one as a backup for the cold months, especially if you sometimes play outdoors paddle. Who this racket is not for? So this racket is not very good for advanced attack players who are familiar with this type of equipment, and they like hard rackets because they give them a lot of power to finish the point, as well as control on the faster pace. And perform attacking volleys. Also, the opposite of what I mentioned before, this is not a very good racket for hot seasons or to play in Spain, because it's going to become even softer than it is now, and it's going to be less and less control as the temperature goes higher and higher. So, as I usually advise to people who ask me what should they get, I tell them to have two rackets. So, especially in UK, where you have this seasonality, that in the winter it gets very cold and under 10 degrees, and you can still play with this type of racket. But the harder rackets will be for months where it's like 20 degrees and above. And I think that's it. That's all what I had for you today. If you like this video, please subscribe and drop a like. If you need any more information about this racket or any other rackets, drop it in a comment. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.